everyone. Welcome to the Man and No One Show. This week we got some big news, especially going on in the NFL, and well, let's get right into it. So, Andrew, now we're seeing Urban Meyer get fired. What do you think about this?
Well, I think this is like long overdue. Like Urban Meyer coming into the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Like he was inheriting an organization that was in a rebuild phase, right? And when you draft a guy like Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick, right? You kind of pair that head coach with that quarterback, for a little while longer. And so it's really it's sad to see, to be completely honest, because a lot of people had high expectations of Urban Meyer, and he took a chance on, a guy like Tim Tebow, right? Gave him another shot at playing in the NFL. And I don't know. I have a lot of empathy for him, but just with all some of the reports that came out about what happened, I feel like it was done justice. And that Jaguars team, they still got a lot left to fix. They have the pieces. Like, it's not like they don't have anyone on that team. And so I don't know. It's really sad to see, in a sense. So
Yeah, no, I can agree with you, but it also though it comes down to what was the culture in the locker room like? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Was he setting a culture in the locker room that pushed leadership forward, that pushed those core values that you need to have in order to have a successful football team? And was he pushing that? And he has experience. He's a lot of college experience, but it seems that there wasn't a culture in the locker room. You know, what I mean, with reports of coaches calling players losers.
Or no, the Urban Meyer called his assistant coaches losers. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so there were a bunch of news outlets that reported it, like the New York Post, Ian Rappaport, ESPN. So Urban Meyer, I think after one of his games, went into the locker, or into, like, at a coaches meeting. He was like, look, you guys are all losers. I'm a winner, right? He won championships in college. And he just had this kind of like pride and moxie to him, you know, and I think that, that's terrible. That's a terrible thing
Yeah.
to have, especially when you're with a group of guys that are trying to all get to the same, goal, and that's a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't really have that chemistry. And I don't know, I feel like he was treating them all like college coaches rather than like grown adult professionals. And I
Yeah.
mean, to go off that point, Connor, like, he chewed out the wide receivers after one of, I think, a game where they didn't do too hot. And he went and chewed him out, and he was like, come on, like, let's go. And I think, as professionals and adult players like they are in the NFL, they know what they need to do. They don't, it's not like college, where they're just going to go and be like, oh yeah, we understand, coach. Like, this is what they get paid millions of dollars to do, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have that like tension growing and building and building and building, especially with your coaches among, your other players, right? Like, I think that's ultimately what led to him getting, tossed. I mean, so many reports. There was one week I opened Instagram, and like 3 days in a row, I just see report, Jacksonville did this, Urban Meyer did this, Marvin Jones said this. Like, there was just so much going on that, like, I mean, when you're a football team, like the owner, like, what is he supposed to think? You're trying to win and get to Super Bowls. Too many distractions. And I think that's what ultimately led to him getting released.
No, I agree. And when you have as much drama, when you have drama like that, especially coming out of a front office, a locker room, whatever it is, you can't. I mean, first of all, it doesn't matter what level you are at, whether it's college, whether it's high school, or whether it's NFL. It does not matter. These coaches are at least semi-professional, or they're paid professional, and they do not deserve to get called losers, right? No matter
Yeah.
how much they stink, right? That is not being a leader and keeping your composure, and frankly, just it's not doing your job, and that also sets a precedent for the players too. Like what is it? What are you telling the players? You know, from this, like, are you showing them that you actually care about them having a winning season? Oh, no, no, no! I'm a winner. I'm a winner. No, you're not. Look at your record. Do you think you're
Yeah.
actually a winner? You're a winner until you're not. You were a winner. It's as simple as that. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. And I get it. Things happen. Things happen, especially, anywhere. It doesn't matter where. But you cannot sit there and tell me that it was appropriate for a coach to set a culture like that. You know what I mean? To set a
Yeah.
culture
No,
like that,
absolutely. Yeah.
you can't do that. You cannot do that.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right, Connor. And I mean, their record, I think, reflects that. I mean, sitting at 2-11, but right before he got fired, I mean, Trevor Lawrence was not having the year he was supposed to have, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, James Robinson got benched, their best running back. I mean, just all of these different components, right? And it's just kind of like, I mean, like, your record reflects your attitude, reflects your culture. I mean, that's why I think we see so many of these like coaching changes or these big name players that everyone's like, man, that guy's really good. And then next thing you know, he's traded and everyone's like, why did they do that? Well, there was probably an underlying reason, right? Off the
Yeah.
field issues, locker room issues. Like it doesn't, there's more that goes into it, I think, that makes a good football team. And I think a lot of people know this, but what a lot of people don't talk about though is, you know, what else is going on? What else is happening
Exactly.
outside of the game of football? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, kind of just to wrap this up, like, I mean, we wish Urban Meyer the best, but I don't think he's going to come back to the NFL. Not after that. Not after
No.
that. I don't think he'll get another shot. I mean, the NFL is a business. You get
I,
one
I I
shot.
don't think he I
Done.
don't think he deserves another shot at the NFL after that.
Yeah, absolutely. But to talk about another team in the AFC, let's talk about the Colts.
And
And
who
so,
have a great coach in Frank Reich.
oh yeah, Frank Reich has turned the Colts into a contender. I mean, seriously, let's talk about some of their last, so in their first 5 games, they were 1-4. 1-4. Since then, 7-2. Now, a lot of that, Connor, being, I mean, seriously, like, what's his name? James Taylor, or the running back. Oh my gosh, he is just turning the game inside out. Like he's
Oh
doing
yeah.
some unreal
No,
thing. Jonathan Taylor,
Jonathan
that's his
Taylor.
name.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. It just came to me.
Yes.
But the man is doing unreal things. He's doing like he almost reminds me of Le'Veon Bell before Le'Veon Bell sat out a year, like how he was on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They give him the
Yep.
ball, and everyone in their mind knew Le'Veon Bell was going to do something with it.
Well,
And
I remember I think it was the fourth quarter, right? I had texted my friend and I was like, all the Pats need is a field goal. All they need is a field goal, and they have it, right? Jonathan Taylor finds a hole, busts through the Pats defense, touchdown. Now, personally, I was a little bit upset about that, not gonna lie. But my gosh, are they a good football team? I mean, I really didn't start noticing the Colts until like 3 weeks ago. But it's just like, oh my gosh, like you guys are good. And it's a culture going on in the locker. Again, it comes down to culture. It comes down to culture. Who and who shows up to play football? You know what I mean? I make that my middle name. It's true. Culture matters. And I think Frank Reich has been excellent, absolutely excellent in turning a culture of winning, but with grace, with absolute grace. And that's the important part. I mean, you don't do the things that you, and again, they're not a perfect team. You know what I mean? They're 8-6. it's not bad record, but it's not extraordinary. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like
It's
I
from
I
here.
think
What do you do with it's like how do you get from point A to point B?
yeah, no, absolutely. I think they're riding momentum right now. They're riding that momentum, and I think that might. I think they're like bold take here. Like they're one of my favorites for that AFC championship. I think that like if they keep the momentum going, they get in the wild card, they keep going, keep doing well. I think that they get in that AFC championship game, and who knows, maybe they go to the Super Bowl. Like if Jonathan Taylor keeps producing and Frank Reich can keep doing something with Carson Wentz, right?
Mhm.
Like their ceiling is inevitable. Like there's
I
nothing. I don't
couldn't
think
agree
they
more.
can stop the Colts.
And can we just talk about that? This was a good choice for Carson Wentz to go to the Colts. I mean, everybody knew it,
Well, I mean,
right?
he was traded from.
Yes, yeah, it was he was traded, but we knew it was good for him
Oh yeah, absolutely,
because he
absolutely.
reunited with Frank Reich. He had been under Frank Reich before, and so and Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. So Frank Reich is working with a good quarterback. He has a good running back. He has a solid O line. He has a good defense. I mean, absolutely. Just look at the performance against the Bills. What was it? The week before, 2 weeks ago. I mean, that's just it was the Indianapolis Colts are a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if they again they keep it up, they'll be doing pretty well.
I
But
couldn't agree more.
yeah, but the Colts this week on Christmas Day play the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals did not have such a hot last Sunday. So the Cardinals played the Lions. And as we all know, the Lions are one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Mm.
But the Arizona lost 30-12. And I think this is something that a lot of people, especially myself, being a Cardinals fan, did not see coming. And I don't not a lot of people really talked about it, at least from what I saw. Like a lot of news outlets, like no one was going like, whoa, like the Lions beat the Cardinals. But I did post something during the game, was like calling into question the Cardinals' validity. Like, what are they as a team? I mean, a 10-3 team that lost to a one-win team,
Mm.
Connor, a one-win team. I'm not saying that the Lions are a terrible team, but they're a
No,
one.
they have talent.
Yeah, but they're a one-win team. I mean, seriously, the Cardinals
Yeah.
can't lose to one-win teams and expect to go to the Super Bowl.
No, I couldn't agree more. And that's the problem. And they're the Cardinals are a team. All right, because I was reading something and I think it was Kyler Murray was like pretty much just like they just outplayed us. And I'm like, oh, you think? You think they outplayed you?
Well, the Cardinals
Really?
didn't score a point until the third quarter of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
And you look at the numbers, you look at the numbers, and you're like, what the hell happened there? What happened there? It's just like there wasn't impressive numbers. It goes to show that you don't got to put up extreme numbers to win a football game. You don't score a point until the third quarter. What are you not realizing that you got to play? Seriously, what is going on in your mind? Are they really outplaying it that well out there? Is a one-win team really that good? Is Jared Goff, who has to have plays told to him in a headset in his helmet, really that good of a quarterback to outdo Kyler Murray? I, Kyler Murray has been on fire this season. He's been an excellent quarterback. He's made plays that are great. They are fun to watch. Where was he going with this? I mean, you can't expect to sit there. Oh, yeah, we lost to the Detroit Lions, and but we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. No, You gotta prove it now. You got beat by the Detroit Lions. You gotta prove it to yourself that you can play football with the big leagues. That you can compete against the Pats. You can compete against the NFC teams. You know what I mean? It's just like It doesn't matter. You have to compete against the Pats. You have to compete against the Bills. You have to compete against Indianapolis.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like no,
So it's
absolutely. Yeah.
and Indianapolis is playing the Cardinals. This is going to be the aha moment for the Cardinals. Whether it's going to be an aha moment for both Indianapolis and the Cardinals. Are they going to be able to? Are they going to prove themselves that they're big boys and that they can play in the big leagues?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I thought they could, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But I think, right now the Cardinals have I believe 3 games left on their schedule. They play the Colts,
Mhm.
and the following week they play the Cowboys, which I will be going to. And then they play.
I'll be up in arms about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But they have 3 games left, right?
Yeah.
If the Cardinals if they can beat, let's say, they beat the Colts, beat the Seahawks, and I don't know, let's say they lose to Dallas, right?
Yep.
They go 2-1. That's not too bad. That'll be okay. But
No.
the game against the Colts, that'll matter for their, the NFC, right? And everything. The Dallas game, that's a big one in terms of seeding for playoffs. And then the Seahawks game, I mean, that's just, they got to win that game. You know what I mean? That's just an extra.
There's no reason why the Cardinals should not win against the Seahawks, in my opinion.
Yeah. So if the Cardinals can win out, right, which it's totally possible if they keep going, right, then they'll be in a good spot to get that 1 or 2 seed, maybe 3 seed, right? They'll be in a very good spot. I mean, they'll need a little help because Green Bay's got a few on them, and I think they're tied with like the Cowboys and the Bucks. But
Yep.
it's going to be a very tight race. But this is the thing that I have a problem with as a Cardinals fan is just you never know what Cardinals team you're going to see on Sunday. You could see the Cardinals team that plays great defense, has great pass rush, gets to the quarterback, stops on third downs, plays a good clean football game, or you'll see the Cardinals team that's not really hyper competitive. Their O-line's just kind of pushing people. They're not very aggressive, right? Like you just don't know what you're going to see. But it doesn't help that the Cardinals have also lost DeAndre Hopkins for until like the NFC Championship if they make it there. They've lost J.J. Watt. Then Kyler Murray got hurt, missed a few games. Like, I mean, they've had to face a lot of adversity, and a lot of their good players have gone out. So, but this will be interesting because if the Cardinals, for some reason, fumble their shot into, doing well in the playoffs, or they fumble, even making the playoffs, right? You could see some turnover, I think, with that general manager, Steve Keim. I think he's on the hot seat a little bit after going all in with all these guys that they've got brought in,
Yeah.
And, and I think the owner knows that. I think Cliff Kingsbury knows that, and so it'll definitely be interesting. Definitely for sure. But I think this Lions game is kind of like it exposed the Cardinals.
Yeah.
B, it kind of I think if they're sitting at home right now, they're thinking, holy cow, we just got embarrassed. We just got embarrassed.
And that should make them, frankly, for lack of a better term, pissed off for next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That should be like, we got beat by the Detroit Lions, and now Indianapolis is going to come. I mean, I'm not sure if are they playing at Indianapolis?
No, they're playing in Arizona.
Yeah. So they're going to be sitting there. Oh, they should be thinking, oh, Indianapolis thinks he's going to come in now and they're going to kick our butts. Oh no, there, brother. No, now you gotta buckle down. This is our house. This is our house, and we are going to fight for it.
Absolutely. So so we'll see, and it makes for some interesting Christmas games.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I think Christmas is going to be a fun Saturday to watch.
Absolutely. And we'll cover it, and we'll see what happens. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So something that Connor and I wanted to introduce this week to all of you is the question of the week. So we wanted to start doing this, and it's going to be voted upon by you guys. We're going to try and post it Friday mornings. It'll end, I think the next day. So we're going to post 3 questions, and you guys are going to pick what question we talk about. It's to have this more interaction with the audience. We want to connect more with you, and we want to produce stuff that you guys are interested in as well. So this week, we're talking about, the question of the week is, with COVID still ever changing and most player unions and professional sport leagues changing policies, when will there be an end to games getting rescheduled and restrictions being tightened? What do you think, Connor?
You see, it's tough. I think it's tough, especially in the sports world. They're taking COVID extremely seriously.
Yeah.
So I think that it's tough because we're in the sixth season now. This is where everybody gets sick with the flu, with strep throat, with everything, every little thing under the sun. So and I'm assuming a majority of professional athletes are vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm taking that, but as we have seen, the vaccine has not been stopping people from getting COVID.
Yeah.
It's just been diminishing how extreme they get it, whether it becomes a bad flu or whether it becomes whatever it is. It is not stopping people from getting COVID. So I think with this, we have to analyze, everybody's inside, everybody's indoors. Everybody has their opinion on this. I think that with this situation, personally, I'll be outward and forward with it. I don't think that we're going to see numbers drop until the springtime. And I don't think that, quite frankly, I personally don't think that wearing a mask is going to help them in this situation. You know what I mean? I just think it's just people are just going to get sick. It's this time of year. This is when people get sick. They're sneezing, they're coughing. It doesn't matter. They're just getting sick. And I personally believe COVID is here with us to stay. I think that it's going to be like another flu. I think it is like another flu that could be just more extreme in certain people.
Yeah.
So I really think that really sports organizations just kind of have to be like, listen, these guys are sick. That's it. If they can play, they can play.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely agree, and I get it from the aspect, they're trying to, watch everyone's health, I mean, especially all these guys got families, and, it's a very sensitive thing, to a lot of people. But, if professional sports leagues and player unions and everyone's like, we can't agree, right? And they keep loosening things, and then things unloosen, then they loosen again, and cases are going, up, down, there's not really, to me, it just doesn't seem like there's an end that's like near, I think at some point, people just got to be like, it's here to stay, there's not much we can do about it unless you're like violently sick, I think that,
show up the practice.
Yeah. I mean, they're professionals. And I know that they care about a lot of people's health, and that's good. And they care about their own, but you're a professional, they should deal with it professionally. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like, they get paid millions of dollars to do what they do, right? We've talked about this before. So I think that, once they can all agree, and, once I think, everyone's kind of died down, and people are just kind of, sitting down and saying, like, unless you're violently sick, stay home. If you're okay, come do your job, get paid your money. And heck, maybe in the future we'll see like deals with like incentives, like, you miss X number of days, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course, if you have a reason, right, you have a reason.
I mean, if you're sick with COVID, you know what I mean, like genuinely sick, there's no shame in staying home.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I think that's, I don't know. I think that's the real, like, that real professional way to deal with it. Like, I mean, I get it. Everyone's, interested in, the common good and everyone's health and everything. But I don't know. I agree with you, Connor. I'm just, they're professionals.
I don't see there's an end in sight. I mean, from it, you really only have a point that there's like a 99% survival rate of this disease. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it gets down to like 97% the older you get. So it's I think that there has been overhype about it. And I think that personally, the professional sports world just has to carry on. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
The flu goes through. I mean, I'm not, and we don't have to get into vaccine mandates and stuff like that, but that's, a majority of these guys are vaccinated, so they should be showing up for the jobs.
Absolutely. And they're professionals.
Exactly.
So I mean, we'll see. We'll wait and see. I mean, I think though that with games getting rescheduled, and practices and players being unavailable to play, right? Like, I mean, think about it like this. Like, let's say you were someone who's perfectly fine, right? You're perfectly fine, have no symptoms at all, right? You're
Yeah.
I don't know, let's just say you're the starting quarterback for I don't know, I'm just gonna pick a random NFL team. Let's say you're the starting quarterback for the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
And you have no symptoms at all, right? And
Yeah.
you're perfectly fine, right? And you get put on the COVID-19, reserve list. Like, seriously, like how frustrating is that? The day
Yeah.
or
To
two
sit
before the game.
to sit around, and I get it. People are gonna sit there and then they go, okay, well, they're gonna spread it to everybody else. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just like the majority of the country has the vaccine. Are you saying that they were a man? It's just like so much doesn't add up. So
Yeah,
much doesn't add up, and so much. It's a little. Quite frankly, I think it's just a little. I think it's a little off. People a little off their rockers. You know.
yeah, yeah. But
And I think that these guys, they got to show up and do their job, unless they're actually like legitimately sick, like physically, like need to just stay in bed for 10 days and recover.
absolutely, absolutely. But you know, I mean, hopefully things get better. Really, hopefully, people can agree and things will get better and things will kind of get back to, this becomes the new quote unquote normal.
Mm.
So we'll see. Anyways, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Um, we will try and communicate with you guys through Instagram for these questions every episode. So you can go and vote every Wednesday or no, every Friday, excuse me.
Every
Friday morning,
Friday. Yep.
Friday morning. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to episode 7. We'll see y'all later.
God bless.